Welcome back to another video. How are we doing today? Lots and lots to talk about as always. Clocked Out Sports back at it again. Same crew, NFC East trash talk. So let's start with the first game of the divisional round, the Broncos and the Bills. Josh Allen, that's my guy. You guys know that's my guy. I think he's the most talented quarterback in the league. His comparison right now looks like to be Aaron Rodgers. And I'll go into more details later. But first, he had four turnovers, two fumbles, two picks, one bad fumble right before half that led to a field goal for the Broncos. Broncos has the better team, the better organization, the better coach, except for quarterback, and the Broncos eked out a win. So, Mile High City looking good, except for Bo Nix. What a tragic, tragic injury before the game ended. So, Broncos, you have no shot of getting to the Super Bowl. It's Stidham, just to let you know, you have no shot. But anyway, congrats on your first win, Bo Nix. Feel good. But Jay, does this game tank? I know what you're about to say, but for the fans out there listening and watching, does this tank his legacy?
No, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna go as far as to say it tanks his legacy. I think that's a little harsh. Um, but I do want to teach a lesson out there. And it's the fact that no quarterback, no player is immune to these type of performances, these type of things happening. They're not immune to weaknesses. Every player, every team, every anything has its weakness. It just so happens that Josh Allen's weakness is the playoffs, because every time he gets to the playoffs, a lot like our good friend Joey's quarterback here, he just ends up choking it away. And
Fair
honestly,
point.
his playoff resume is the problem. It is the problem. This loss really sums up his playoff experience. 4 turnovers in one game. I remember a specific quarterback in our division getting a lot of flack for 5 turnovers in a game, but we're not going to talk about that. Josh Allen isn't going to get nearly as much flack because he passes the eye test. But hey, what can you say? At the end of the day, just to answer your question and round it back out, I don't think it hurts his legacy, but I will say that if this is going to be his thing, this is going to be, hey, we're going to put up great numbers every year until we get to the playoffs and then we choke it away, then yeah, that conversation is going to be very possible in the future.
Now, Joey, I just want to ask you. So, in my opinion, the Bills had the inferior roster. I don't think they had even a good roster. I would say it's mid at best, just top to bottom. If you compare it to like the Broncos, the Seahawks, even like the Niners if fully healthy. Given this loss for Josh Allen, people were saying like, "Oh, there's no Mahomes, there's no Lamar. Josh Allen, he had to win." Now he didn't. Did you expect him to win? And should he have won? Is this game fully on him, this loss?
And again, it's a team sport. We all know that the team loses. I wouldn't say the whole thing is on him. I would say the turnovers obviously didn't help. I picked them to win. I feel like they should have won because Josh Allen's more experienced than Bo Nix. But those turnovers, you just can't do. Like he was scrambling and he got hit and the ball like flew backwards 20 yards or whatever it was to help the Broncos get in field goal range. You just can't make those mistakes. But I don't think the loss is fully on him because I don't feel like the upper management has had got enough pieces around him on offense to make him successful outside of James Cook. I mean, you got Khalil Shakir, who's probably a 3 on other teams. You got I don't even who else is out there for. I don't even know who else is on their team. Brandon
Keon,
Cooks. I mean,
Keon Coleman.
Brandon Cooks got cut and they picked him up and he's their leading receiver ever since in
exactly. They
November.
got Brandon Cooks. I mean, he was good for the Cowboys, but Buffalo, he had that good catch deep down the field for
It's
Buffalo.
not that Brandon Cooks isn't bad. He's just getting old, man. It's like
He's just older. Like they did nothing to help him get better, like bring more weapons in outside of they let Stephon Diggs go and everything just kind of went downhill for them after that, in my opinion.
Well, see, this is the question I kind of brought up the other day, and I don't know if I brought it up here or on Final Four, but I'm pretty sure it was here where I asked, if they decide not to build around Josh Allen and continue this path, the Bills organization, does Josh Allen say, "Hey, I'm gonna cut my losses. I want to move on. I want to trade"?
You brought that up last week if they lost, and so I said the Rams, which would be obviously the perfect fit. Any quarterback would thrive. And let me just say before we move on, I said obviously Joey, great point. Organization has failed Josh Allen, not building around him. They signed guys like Joey Bosa, who is washed. He's on the back nine of his career. There are no Pro Bowlers outside of James Cook. Even James Cook leads the league in fumbles. That's a fact. The Bills, despite the 4 turnovers, won time of possession. They did. They won time of possession by at least 11 minutes. So You blame the defense. You blame Josh Allen all you want. He did his part, even with the turnovers. He still held his end of the bargain. You know,
They almost
probably
won the
had
game with the even like losing the turnover battle. They almost won the game losing the turnover battle. Like it's crazy.
Yes, and I was arguing with another guy. He was saying, "Oh, they have Kincaid and Dawson Knox. They're elite." I was like, "Bro, who are those guys? They're mid. They don't even
Kincaid and Dawson
$3,000.
Knox are not that good. They're good, but they're not anything to write home about.
I wouldn't even say they're good. They're mid at best, bro.
They're not all
mid.
pro tight ends. or nothing,
They
nothing
had
like
in the early, you know, because I'm pretty sure they're only like in their second or third year. They were good, pretty good in the beginning, but it's not been much since.
Okay, let's move on to a belt-to-ass game, Seahawks and Niners. I don't even want to say too much because I turned it off by the second quarter. But Joey, quick summary of what that game meant to you.
Niners suck. Seahawks are better than them. They beat them.
Jay.
That's about it, really. There's not really much else to talk about. I mean,
listen,
now, Jay, Brock Purdy's your guy you give the bag to, but he completely was
yeah, bro.
He was just couldn't do it.
Once again, bro. Hey, let's remember they gave the bag to Josh Allen, and he just had 4 turnovers in a game. So that's what I'm saying. Holding quarterbacks to the same standard. I think that the Seahawks are the best team in the league. They're overpowered. They're at this point, like they have an amazing defense. They have elite receivers. I think that their biggest weakness is at quarterback. You know,
I think the Rams could beat them. Rams are going to beat them this weekend, actually.
Well, we'll see what happens. I don't trust the Rams because you know they almost lost to my guy Caleb Williams and the Bears. But at the end of the day, they didn't. But I don't know. We'll see. But put it this way: this was a straight up ass whipping. I was wrong. I was wrong about the Niners, not about Brock Purdy. I still think he's great. But I did have them winning. Instead, they got smoked 41-6 for those who did not see it. It wasn't even competitive. There wasn't no excuses. There was no injuries. It was just Seattle punched him in the mouth, and it didn't stop since. So
they played him 2 times in a row. Didn't score a touchdown in both games.
Jesus Christ!
No touchdowns in either game.
Yeah, I mean, Josh threw 4 turnovers, but he still dropped 30. Brock Purdy only got 6 points. So.
That's facts. Yep. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Okay.
But like I said, that's an elite defense in Seattle. So
that's true. And the Seahawks
Denver's defense is also elite, isn't it?
Kind of reminds me, Joey, of a team last year who did win the Super Bowl. Elite team with the weakness as the quarterback. Anyway.
Oh, you mean the Super Bowl week MVP, the weak ass Super Bowl MVP?
If Darnold wins Super Bowl MVP and the Super Bowl, what are we going to do? Is he top 10, top 5? Like, what are we doing there?
Jalen Hurts has outplayed Patrick Mahomes not once but twice in the Super Bowl.
If he outplayed Mahomes, he would have had 2 rings instead of 1.
No, it has nothing to do. The win didn't have anything. I mean, besides that one fumble, like the ring had nothing to do with him. Losing the ring was James Bradbury. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like holding and all that shit.
The whole team lost it. They didn't do enough to win.
Yeah, well, whatever. The point is
it's a team sport, not individual.
If we're talking about I know we're about to move on, but if we're talking about the stat line of that Super Bowl, he lost. Look at the stats. He played a better game.
Only more yards. The same number of total touchdowns. If you deduct 1 touchdown from Hurts because of the fumble, returns 6.
Yeah, but then he had rushing touchdowns too. So
I'd said both. Like total touchdowns, like same. If you take away 1 touchdown from Hurts.
Come on now. Yeah. It wasn't as bad as you think it is, all right?
Anyway, Texans and Patriots. What a slugfest this was. Snowy game, okay? Now, CJ Stroud, wow. What a horrendous performance. This is a guy I thought you give the bag to. I thought top 10, top 5 maybe, but my goodness.
Top 5 where?
Like, rookie year.
People jumping the gun too much.
He's been horrendous. Now, Joey, what did you make of this game? Was it more the Patriots just dominating the Texans, or is it just CJ Stroud shooting the Texans in the foot?
I think it's a little of both. That Patriots defense is really, really good. Like, it's phenomenal. They got, the best, if not the best corner in the league, and Christian Gonzalez there. They got a really good pass rush. And then on the flip side, that Texans offensive line is atrocious. CJ Stroud had 4 interceptions in the first half. This is why you don't put rookies in the top 10 after their first season. You got to give them a little bit of time to get in there and get their feet wet.
Or you don't count them out before their first season ends.
Exactly. I feel like that's a dig at somebody, but
Okay, Jay.
no, yeah, just
Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Joe.
no,
Go
no.
ahead.
I just feel like it's the side of both. Like C.J. Stroud didn't perform well. The offense was really bad, but that Patriots defense is just really, really good.
Jay, have you been impressed by Drake May's playoff performances this year?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I've been impressed. I know we know that I've had to take that. I think Drake May is going to end up getting punched in his mouth one of these days. Because I didn't think that throughout the year I think he played great. I'm not saying he hasn't. He played great, but against nobodies. And the biggest problem is like, okay, I want to see you go off against a real play caliber defense, a real playoff caliber secondary, and see what you do. And I don't even think like that still wasn't tested. The Texans aren't an elite defense. You know what I'm saying?
That's the number one defense. That's the number one football. Number one defensive football. Houston's defense is number Houston's defense is number one.
Elite defense.
Dude,
they got like 5 turnovers against CJ Stroud, made 6 points out of it. That's how good that Texans defense was. They just got 6 points from those turnovers.
I thought the Broncos were.
Broncos are up there, but Houston's defense is number one.
I didn't know that they were number one. That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
all right, well, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about Drake May, man. Maybe I'm wrong
if Drake
about Drake
May runs
May,
the gauntlet, if he beat, he beat the Texans, he's probably going to beat the Broncos, and then if he goes on and beats the Rams or Seahawks, both those defenses are really good. Then
he's having a serious stroke of luck because he's about to beat a Bo Nix-less fucking Broncos. I mean,
and then what if he goes on and beats the Seahawks with that elite defense, or if he beats the Rams with their good defense?
Well, yeah. So listen, then I can, like I said, when I first said it, I said it was a hot take, and I'm willing to take it back if it is proven false. But hey, if he did what he did, I'll say this: turnovers do not care how talented you are. Listen, CJ Stroud is absolutely elite, but I mean, let's be real. This game showed how unforgiving playoff football is at this time of year. A couple bad decisions, your season can be over. Funny enough, it puts him and Josh Allen in a similar conversation right now. Crazy talent, but those same type of 4 turnover. Look at the stat line. I'm not making it up.
Let's not leave out Drake May.
Drake
May had 3 turnovers.
Saying like.
No, I'm not saying that they're in the same conversation talent-wise. What I'm saying is, like, I think that they are both talented. Josh Allen definitely more talented than CJ Stroud, but I think that, like, we have these talented quarterbacks who have real promise going into the offseason, and then they get to the offseason and perform very poorly. Meanwhile, the Patriots just did what they always do.
Let's move on to the last game. Your Caleb Williams-led Bears. Jay, I just want to say that throw was incredible. I was screaming, and Rain started barking at me, bro. I was like, what are you doing? Like, get off me, bro. I was literally on the ground. I could not believe it. That is a equivalent of a step back half-court 3 in your face smothered defense to tie the game. Jay, is Caleb top 10 after it's despite the loss?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, despite the loss, I think Caleb has definitely stamped himself. And I think that it's to say something when you don't do something once, but you do it twice. That is the second or third time he's done something like that in clutch times in the game. Like, he is proving to be the cardiac kid. He is proven to be Captain Clutch. So I don't care if the Rams won and the Bears lost, sure. But Caleb Williams specifically showed exactly why people believe in him. They believe in him in Chicago. He looked calm. He looked confident. And in that big moment, it wasn't too big for him. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, hey, they lost, but even in the loss, he showed that he's ready to lead the franchise into the future. And I told you guys, he is my new favorite quarterback.
All right, Joey. So the Rams have not been playing well. Last 5 weeks of the regular season, it was a close game against the Panthers. Did this game convince you that the Rams are back on track with that defensive performance?
Yes, I firmly believe that because that's a high-powered Bears offense. They were able to go down there and stop them from scoring outside of that, play that Caleb Williams did at the end of the game, which, by the way, again, can't put Caleb Williams in the top 10. Still too early. He's only in his second year. Got to see what he can do. But no, he played ball. He played really well. But I definitely think the Rams are back on track. And I got them beating the Seahawks this weekend. I think it happens.
Stafford's probably going to ball out. Okay, switching gears to college football. It was a closer game than I thought. I thought Indiana was about to bust that ass. But guys, I did pick Miami to make it to the finals. That was my team. That defense is fucking legit. Now they almost didn't get it done because Jay and I were watching the game and Carson Beck threw a horrendous pick. Not
He's
even
a
close.
bum.
What a
He's
choke
bum.
artist.
That's the second year. He did it last year just like that. They were literally in the playoffs and like he threw a pick to end the game. And they had a chance to win. He's horrible.
That was bad.
And then bro, fuck.
Joey, were you entertained by that game?
Damn.
I was telling people I was telling everybody that would listen to me that it's going to be a lot closer than people think, only because of that Miami defense. You got Hakeem Mesidor there. You got Ruben Bain, 2 potential first-round picks. Ruben Bain made a statement last night. That was a phenomenal game. Congrats to Indiana and Mendoza on winning it. And then Mendoza's going to get his career ruined by the Raiders in the NFL. So.
Okay, switching gears, the NFL head coaching carousel. Now, before we get into the hirings, I actually wanted to bring something up. I forgot to bring this up to you guys in the pre-pod. Apparently, you remember the handshake between Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur? Like Ben Johnson was like, and then
trolled him,
trolled him a little bit. Apparently, there's beef. Apparently, Ben Johnson is tired of hearing all the Shanahan trees and coaches getting all this glory, and Ben Johnson's like a little snarky, maybe a little arrogant. He's a smart guy, right? Offensive genius, but I think Ben Johnson's tired of hearing all that shit and wants to beat every single Shanahan guy. And apparently, maybe Matt LaFleur called Sean McVay or his brother Mike LaFleur, told them to bust Ben Johnson's ass. Now, we didn't see any hostility after the game. They were professional, they were courteous, but I do love seeing Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur having beef. It's more interesting for fans. Is it professional? No, it's not. It's like CEOs having beef. But it is interesting for us. And I just want to say, it seems like Ben Johnson likes to be on an island.
It's entertainment for us. Fuck what they got going on.
It's like Ben Johnson wants to be on an island and not be cool with these Shanahan guys. Like, it's like the Shanahan guys are one clique, the cool guys, and then Ben Johnson just likes to be the lone wolf, the loner. And I just want to say, like, even in the NFL, as smart as you are, you do need help. Connections, even if they're not on your team. Like, you still need help. So, Ben Johnson, I just want to shout out. You're probably not listening to this. Don't be on an island. Just chill the fuck out, okay? Be cool with everyone because, honestly, a McVay guy could go to your team and be a coach for you one day. Or something like that, a defensive.
Well, he did say in the post-game press conference after he beat the Packers, he said, "I hate that team," and he said he hates everything about him, and he said, "Fuck the Packers."
He did say that, and that's pretty bold for a coach.
Who said that?
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson said that after beating the Packers. He said he said, "I hate the team." In the locker room, he told the players, "Fuck the Packers."
Oh, well, wait a minute, but Nick Sirianni's a fucking man child and isn't mature.
At least
I think they're both the same. They're both the same. They're both cornball. Yeah.
But I will say it's a little corny. It is a little corny.
It is a little corny. It is corny from Ben Johnson.
If you do that as a coach, you have to win the Super Bowl.
Is it
as much shit as I give Sirianni? At least he has a ring. I will give him credit for that.
Is it just me, or does it seem like Ben Johnson's kind of a fucking asshole?
I think he is an asshole.
I think he is.
He is. I remember it was during
I think
one
you
of the
meet
Bears,
Ben Johnson is going to tell you to fuck off.
It was one of the Bears. It was one of the Bears comeback games, and like he was like the reporter was asking, and they were like getting their ass kicked. I forgot who it was against. But when the reporter going into halftime asked, "So why did you call this play?" and like the way he answered it, he just seemed like he was like being really snarky, like he was an asshole, and I was like. He's kind of a dick, isn't he?
It seems like he's just apparently Goff, when he was at the Lions, no one could talk to Ben Johnson on the sidelines. Like it was a no-go zone. Like no one could go approach him and talk to him as the OC. I was like,
yeah, no, you don't know. As an OC, you wanted to be able to talk to the players.
That's not good. You know what vibes that reminds me of? Chip Kelly.
I was about to say Chip Kelly.
Those are the stories.
I would say even like Nick Sirianni, like the players can still talk to Sirianni in the sidelines and whatnot. And I mean, even that's not.
Fact, I mean, they probably going out to get beers with Sirianni after the fucking game. But like, like when it came to Chip Kelly, you could listen to LaShawn McCoy or Deshaun Jackson talk about it. He was unapproachable. He would have his people come and talk to you, and he race divided, which was crazy.
Okay. I wonder how many other coaches are like that, and coordinators and stuff in the league. I wonder who else is like that.
Liam Cohen and Robert Saleh had beef, and now they're.
That's gonna be great to see.
I like Liam Cohen, bro. I like Liam Cohen, bro.
I like both. And switching gears, the Tennessee Titans have hired Robert Saleh, in my opinion, an A hire. Robert Saleh is a tough guy, a great coach. He got the Jets to 7 wins consistently, defensive mastermind. He got the Niners, a team full of practice squad players and band-aids, to the playoffs, playing well at an elite level. So, in my opinion, an A plus hire for the Titans. And we're going to see more Liam Cohen, Robert Saleh beef. Joey, I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, I can't either, man. And touching on the Robert Saleh thing, I think every team he's coached defensively has been in the top 10. Even as the head coach of the Jets, he had them in a top 10 ranking for their defense. So, I mean, Tennessee got a good one. I know people are shitting on it because he didn't do well in New York. New York had nothing to work with him. He had nobody. He had Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's not a quarterback. We know that. So he's got Cam Ward. Hopefully he can get a good DC in there or a good OC in there to help him, mold Cam Ward into something great. We'll see what happens.
Joey, that AFC South, we always joke the AFC, NFC South are putrid teams. But that AFC South has some good young coaches. Are you impressed with the Robert Saleh hire?
I am very impressed with the Robert Saleh hire.
Oh, no, sorry, Jay. Did I say Joe?
Oh, you said Joey. I was like, oh, you guys are right.
My bad.
You're like, fuck this guy. Listen, dude. Honestly,
dividing like Chip Kelly.
I'm sorry, you're looking mighty. You're looking mighty white over there, Jay. Nah, man. So listen, I'm gonna call it what it is. This was an absolute culture move. I know that Tennessee wanted toughness, they wanted accountability, and Saleh brings that immediately. Defense will improve. Offense is a question mark, but I think that it's overall a good move for them. I'm impressed with it.
Okay, so let's go to a firing. The big news, I did not expect this, but the Buffalo Bills fire Sean McDermott, coach for like multiple years, multiple double-digit wins, multiple playoff appearances, but it seemed like the Bills could not get over the hump. Now, you guys know, I was all for firing Sean McDermott. However, he is a great guy, and he is a great coach, but I think they reached their limit, their ceiling. I compared him to Mark Jackson of the Warriors. The Warriors had a ceiling with Mark Jackson, and Steve Kerr busted through that ceiling. No Diddy, by the way, with this. Anyway, they reached their ceiling, and I think it was a great move. Now, go get an offensive genius, offensive coach for Josh Allen. Do you guys think that was a good move? And if so, who would you hire if you were the Bills? Quickly.
Well, just to jump back into what I was saying earlier, it's not a shocking move to me at all. Once you look at the playoff failures, listen, too many years coming up short with an elite QB, to me, the best quarterback in the league. That's why his ceilings and expectations are so high to me. So to me, somebody had to go, and it wasn't going to be a man named Josh Allen. Period. End of story. Maybe later down the line, but not now. Who I would get? I don't know, man. That's hard. I'd have to really look at the available options because Stefanski just got hired.
Don't have that much time, so I just want to point out Sean McDermott is supposed to be this elite defensive mind, but he gave up the field goal in 13 seconds. He has continuously failed the Bills, and the Bills have not been able to get a stop when it mattered most against the Chiefs, against multiple playoff teams and multiple games in multiple years. So this is on Sean McDermott. This is the reason why Josh Allen does not have a comeback game-winning drive in the playoffs. It's because his defense always fails him. Josh Allen scores with 2 minutes, 1 minute left, and the other team goes on the field and scores, ties the game or wins the game. So it's on the defense. It's on the head coach. Joey, who would you hire if you were the Bills right now?
This guy's got ties in Buffalo when he worked there. I'd go with Brian Daboll. Let him get a shot at the head coaching spot for the Bills.
Y'all just trying to take everything from us, okay?
You get Daboll. McDaniel's already going to the OC for the Chargers, for anybody who didn't know that.
Which was surprising. He took an OC job. I thought McDaniel had a shot of getting the Ravens, maybe the Bills job, but OC
what?
For the Chargers.
You thought McDaniel had a shot of getting the Bills?
I do want to say the Bills fired the wrong person. They should have fired the GM and not McDermott. Because again, the GM didn't build any pieces around Josh Allen. That's not on the coach. That's on the GM.
I absolutely do not think that he had a chance to go to. I mean, the Bills. He is a horrendous head coach. He's terrible.
McDaniel?
Yeah, he's not good at it. So I mean, I think he'd be a great OC. He's a great offensive mind. He's a great play caller. But I do like
Daboll. I think Daboll going to Buffalo makes a lot of sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, Daboll molded Josh Allen into the superstar that he is.
You know who could go? You know who could go? A guy over there in Colorado, a guy who is the father of the great Shador Sanders. Deion Sanders
You
could be the coach of the
can't be
Buffalo
great
Bills.
if you have more picks than touchdowns.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's out there playing like Geno Smith. He's out there playing like Geno
oh,
Smith.
stop it.
Anyway,
You're like everything is circumstantial, period.
Joey, I agree with you. They should have fired Brandon Bean as well. If you're going to
Yeah.
fire McDermott, you fired Brandon Bean. But I was always on board firing McDermott first and foremost. I think
Because what's crazy is this just came out. So after, I think it was either before or after the season ended, McDermott sat down with upper management and said what was missing on the team to get them to that Super Bowl level, and they didn't agree with him. So that's probably one of the reasons why he also got fired, because he got kind of pushed back with management about what was missing on the roster.
It sounds like Brandon Bean's a little bitch who can't take criticism.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like
Your
head coach should be able to come to you and tell you, hey, this is missing, missing this or that, and you try to get those pieces to make that push to the Super Bowl.
Remember Brandon Bean got defensive and started yelling at this radio host because he asked him about the wide receivers, and Brandon Bean got so defensive. It was like child's play. Anyway, so Mike McDaniel to the Chargers, which is surprising. Jay, were you surprised by this news as an Eagles fan?
I wasn't surprised. I mean, I wasn't surprised. I knew that we were kind of linked to Mike McDaniel. I know that a lot of times, these initial reports come out like, oh, there's a meeting, there's going to be an interview, there's going to be links, but like 9 times out of 10, most coaches who are linked to teams are linked to 15 fucking teams. So, at the end of the day, I wasn't getting my hopes too far up. Wanted to see him in Philly, but shouts out to them. They got I think a good OC.
Do you think, Jay, this is a predicament of Nick Sirianni's seat being hot and Mike McDaniel not wanting to be in because the Eagles have a better offensive roster than the Chargers. There's no doubt. But so he wants to coach Herbert instead of Hurts, Saquon.
Why does it? Are we sure, or did they just offer him more money?
I'm speculating, but also Howie and Jeffrey Lurie are no strangers to throwing the bag at coaches. At anyone really.
Yeah, but I feel like they're not gonna throw the bag at Mike McDaniel. I feel like what they would probably do is if they can't get him for a price, they would just go to one of the other 5 million options they have.
I don't think there are many good options. I think that Mike McDaniel
are good enough options.
I think he's seen there's a little drama. There's not a lot of stability at the head coaching position in terms of there's a lot of reports coming out. And if Sirianni gets fired next year, then Mike McDaniel has to look for another job. I think McDaniel stays with Harbaugh. Harbaugh is going to be secure. Herbert's there, so maybe
no matter how next year goes for the Eagles, I don't see Nick Sirianni getting fired.
Okay. Okay.
What if you go What if you go 5-12?
I just don't see him getting fired.
Oof. Doug Peterson got fired 2 years after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, that's because Doug Peterson wasn't, gonna just bend over.
No, I don't think the Eagles win. I think the Eagles win more than 5 games. I don't think they're repeating.
No, I don't think the Eagles are that team to, we're not built for that until,
I don't think y'all go 3 I don't think y'all go 3 years in a row as division champs. So I think
hell, that would be great. You know what I'm saying? That would make a serious statement that we really run the East, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't make a difference. Next year, I just think we're going to see, regardless of what's going to happen, I think we're going to see, depending on who we get,
no AJ Brown. No AJ Brown's not.
No AJ. Well, 2 options. I don't think Howie's going to play with that. So either we're I don't think we're going to have him regardless next year.
I think they're waiting till post. If you wait till post June 1, you say $7 million or something.
Yeah. So hey man, I don't give a fuck, dude. The way you showed up or didn't show up against the Niners, I don't really care to have you anyway, dude. That was your moment to. I'm saying.
You complain all year about wanting to get the ball, and then you drop it
blaming my quarterback and coach.
Okay. Let's move on. Stefanski to the Falcons. I thought this was a great hire. I think Stefanski might regret it a little bit for not waiting for that Bills job to open up. Ooh. But anyway, he has a lot of weapons: Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. If they tag him or re-sign him. Great hire. I think he's probably the best coach in that division, maybe second to Dave Canales. But anyway, that was a great hire. Joey, did you like the Falcons hire?
I did like the Falcons hire. People are shitting all over it. I know he didn't really have a winning record with Cleveland, but the man's a two-time coach here. I mean, he made the playoffs with Baker Mayfield. With I can't remember who else he made the playoffs with, but he's made the playoffs. He's won a playoff game. So this is a great hire for the Falcons. I think this puts them in the right direction to make them competitive, at least in the division, if not going for a Super Bowl, obviously.
All right, Jay, you think the Falcons will compete and get to the playoffs with Stefanski at the helm?
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I mean, yesterday you said, I forgot about who, but you said that he has a high ceiling, but he has a very low floor. I forgot what quarterback we were talking
It was
about.
Caleb. It was Caleb.
It was Caleb. Okay. In this situation, I think that this raises the floor, but I don't know if it raises the ceiling yet, if that makes sense. Everything is going to just depend on quarterback play and what they can do. If they can't get good quarterback play, then there's just gonna. I mean, I just don't see it really doing anything. But I think that this is a good way to get their offense going in the right direction, if that makes sense.
All right, all right. So quickly before we go, we got a minute and a half left. Jeff Halfley to the Dolphins. Tough culture, defensive guy. B- to a B higher for the Dolphins. Nothing flashy, nothing splashy, but I think they just wanted some stability. Someone like even keel like this instead of like the flashy hire like Mike McDaniel. Anyway, thank you guys for watching so
I
much.
can see where Packer players go in Miami.
Like, comment, subscribe. What we should talk about next down in the comments down below. Stay tuned for my theory on why Mike McDaniel chose the Chargers job over the Eagles. I'm Z Shaw.
I'm Jay.
And I'm Joey.
Do it. Stay clocked out. And in the meantime, deuces. Catch you later.